This is something that I have been keeping to myself for a very, very long time because I thought that it would go away. And I just thought that things would get better over time, as people tell me, but they haven't. Nothing's gotten better. And I think it's time to let it out and explain. Some of you may have been to a live stream that I had yesterday, which was abruptly ended by my computer crashing. Thankfully I got it to recover, but that ain't the point. You were probably in the stream, and if you were, the me that you saw was a mask. The fact of the matter is that I have been suffering depression for almost 2 years now. The reason why I am not going to go into detail because it's way too personal for me to talk about what happened. But all I can say is that it had such a negative impact on me mentally, and it used to be. It's not to this extent anymore, but it was about 1.5 years ago when it got to the point where I made the decision to end it myself. And for the next 2 or 3 days afterwards, I didn't eat anything, I didn't drink anything, and throughout those 3 days, the only thing I did was lay in bed without any motivation to do anything. And I still feel that lack of motivation to this day. One day I was hanging out with a friend, and he noticed how pale I was because of the lack of nutrients, because of not consuming anything. He noticed how pale I was, and he finally got me to crack and to tell him what was going on. Afterwards, he drove me to the nearest fast food joint, and he forced me to eat something, which I like to say, if he hadn't been there at the time, I wouldn't be here. So you know who you are, and I can't thank you enough for doing that. But just because I don't feel suicidal anymore doesn't mean that I'm not suffering what I'm going through. The lack of content, the lack of streams, it's because of my lack of motivation. I can't motivate myself to do anything. Getting out of bed in the morning is one of the toughest tasks of my day. The stream that I had yesterday, I honestly didn't want to do, but I forced myself to do it anyway. I forced myself to do it because I didn't want to disappoint you guys. Last month, March, was the last time that I felt like I was happy to be alive, and that was because of something that I got to experience. I met my idol, Weird Al Yankovic, and I got to have a chat with him for a couple of minutes. I got a framed set list after the show, and he signed it. This moment is one of the few moments that I have to look back on as of recently that helped me to remember that life is in fact worth living, even though sometimes I feel the complete opposite of that. I hope you will all understand, but if there are a few of you who don't really appreciate that I've been masking how I've been really feeling all this time, then all I can say is that I'm sorry. I needed to let this out, and the reason it's been going on for so long is because I felt when I lived in Texas that I wasn't allowed to express how I felt. So I kept it bottled up, and now because of that, it doesn't want to leave. And it wasn't just the concert. The main thing that kept me motivated was you. If you sat through this entire video, I want to give you a huge thanks, and I really do hope that you understand that I'm going through something serious, and I can no longer pretend to feel what I'm not. The fact that somewhere out there, people are enjoying what I make, and I'm making them laugh, and letting them have a good time. It makes me feel hopeful. So thank you guys for watching. This needed to come off my chest. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time.